Welcome to the magnificent Palace of Versailles, one of the most iconic and breathtaking landmarks in the world. Today we're diving into the rich history, stunning architecture, and fascinating facts about this legendary palace. Without further ado, let's get into it. The palace is located in the city of Versailles, around 35 kilometers outside the heart of Paris. You can take the RER Line C directly to the palace or drive along Highway A86. After around 40 minutes, we arrived at the magnificent Palace of Versailles. The palace is divided into two main parts, the palace itself and the garden. The Palace of Versailles began as a humble hunting lodge built by King Louis XIII in 1623. This modest structure would soon undergo a dramatic transformation under the vision of his son, Louis XIV, also known as the Sun King. In 1661, Louis XIV embarked on an ambitious project to expand the transformation of the lodge into a grand palace. He wanted a residence that would reflect his absolute power and glory of France. Over the next few decades, the palace grew into the sprawling complex we see today. When you first arrive at the palace, you're greeted by this magnificent view. After making your way through the first security check, you will have to line up at the main entrance with your tickets in hand. Make sure to book tickets in advance, otherwise you'll be not let in. After getting checked, you'll be given a map. There's one main route to tour the palace where you will make your way through the courtyard to the gallery, then the second floor and so on. There are also some side rooms that veer off the main path. Our first stop is the gallery. These long hallways house countless art pieces from the history of the palace. It walks you through the original visions and plans of the constructions of the palace, the historical figures that helped form modern France, and other famous art pieces. Some of these pieces are replicas as the real ones were moved to the Louvre. We then make our way upstairs to King Louis XIV's rooms. Here you can find some furniture and more artwork from the 17th century. There's information boards put up beside each painting that give an in-depth explanation of the art. If you're not a part of a guided tour, it's definitely worth stopping and reading to fully take in these breathtaking masterpieces. Moving on past the room is the Royal Chapel. This is a must-visit spot in the palace. This huge chapel is absolutely beautiful and accessible as part of the guided tour. Don't forget to look up at the art on the roof as well. Past the chapel are more rooms. These are the apartments of King Louis XV's daughters, completely decked out with luxurious furniture. This leads us to the most iconic and visited place in this entire palace, the Hall of Mirrors. This place is extremely packed most of the time, so good luck getting those iconic pictures. The Hallway of Mirrors is also where the Treaty of Versailles was signed, putting an end to World War I. The King's chambers are also located here. To end off the tour of the palace, you'll walk through more apartments, the Empire rooms, the Gallery of Battles, and the horse artifacts. We just scratched the surface of this amazing palace. There are a lot more rooms and hallways to explore, so make sure you visit. Now let's head outside to the garden. This 2,000-acre haven is home to tons of ponds, hedges, plants, and these majestic fountains. We started by going to the balcony that overlooks the Orangery Gardens to take some of those classic Versailles photos. There are over 25 fountains in the garden, but since we only had the day, we only visited the ones that were marked as must visit on the map. There are no words to describe how magnificent these fountains and pools are, especially the ones with the music show like the Neptune Fountain and the Mirror Pool. After hours of walking and constant amazement, we continued past the Grand Canal where there are kayak rentals for everyone to paddle along the water. We went to the Trianon Palaces. The last stop on our visit to Versailles. Divided into three main parts, the Grand Trianon, the Petit Trianon, and the Queen's Hamlet. The Grand Trianon is located 25-minute walk to the northwest of the main palace. It served as a private retreat for the king when the palace got too busy and crowded at times. If you purchase a main ticket, access to the Trianon Palaces are included as well. Moving on to the Petit Trianon, located around a 10-minute walk from the Grand Trianon, it's basically a scaled-down version of the Grand Trianon we visited earlier. This was another one of the king's passion projects that provided privacy for him and his mistress. Finally, we made it to the Queen's Hamlet. Located another 10-minute walk away, this small village looks like it was taken straight out of a fairy tale. The hamlet was constructed by Marie Antoinette, who wanted to flee the court of Versailles. She regularly went here to experience the charms of country life, surrounded by her lady companions. It became a genuine farm managed by a farmer, whose produce supplied the kitchens of the palace. Today, the Palace of Versailles is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most visited tourist attractions in France. It offers a glimpse into the opulence and extravagance of the French monarchy, as well as a chance to explore one of the most remarkable architectural achievements in history. If you're planning to come to Paris, you have to visit this remarkable palace and garden. Thank you for joining us on this journey to the Palace of Versailles. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.